Welcome back to Sold Out Sports Talk. I'm with the guy who everybody knows, America's Doctor. I like to call him America's Doctor. Dr. Oz, how are you?
Well, you are very kind, Roman, to say that. You're America's quarterback.
Well, I tell you what, this is a great place for me because it brings back old memories. It's almost like a doctor's convention where you're seeing everybody you know.
I never thought of it. It's exactly what it's like.
Exactly.
Everyone that you see all the time, they come back.
Yeah,
touch points.
It really is a small fraternity. Yeah. A small fraternity. And guys love each other, and this is a chance for us to catch up. And, everybody likes talking about the game. I'm going to talk a few minutes about the game because I want to talk about you. But Philadelphia, where you're from, the city of brotherly love, and Philly's got a chance, and they're ready to go.
I'll tell you, I was coming to this game already, but when the Eagles beat the Vikings, which, again, no one thought they'd have a prayer against the the Falcons even, it was remarkable. And the entire city's jazzed with it. As a long-suffering Eagles fan, and I say that with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek because the team is a winning team almost every year. So we get our hopes up every year, which is a good thing. You never want to have a year where your team has no prayer of beating anybody. The Eagles can beat any team on any day, but this year they beat a lot of teams. And I'm very proud of the way they did it. They got through adversity. They lost the stars that should have prevented them from going any further, and they're still there.
You know, I was with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, talked to Dick Vermeil, the former coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Vince Papale, the Invincible.
Yep.
There's just a storybook to Philadelphia of that, labor hard, work hard mentality. They're tough on you, but they just love football. You grew up there. Tell me about Philadelphia football.
Well, Carson Wentz said it nicely. He said, these guys are passionate and they don't tolerate losers. And Carson said, thank goodness I feel like I'm at home. So the city is a working class city. It's tough. After I grew up, I went to college in Boston, so I know a lot about the Patriots culture. And I played football in college, actually.
Where?
At Harvard.
You're kidding?
Yes.
What position?
I was safety. I tried to stop the passes you guys were throwing.
And the good news is scholarships were you got to get academically right before you walk in there, right? That's
right.
A totally different environment for football, right?
In fact, the teams are pretty good now, and they're much better now than they were when I was playing because you don't have to pay to go to school in the Ivy Leagues most of the time. As long as you you can't afford it, you can go there. So great athletes who could normally go to state schools can now go to any school they want in the Ivies because they probably don't have to pay much for it. It's cheaper to go to a Harvard right now than to go to your state school if you need the money.
Dr. Oz with us on Sold Out Sports Talk. What did you love about football?
My son and I made a video as part of a campaign the NFL was doing a couple years ago called Together We Make Football. And I was criticized as I'm a doctor about letting my son play sports, playing football in particular. And I said, if I could take my son antiquing and get him to appreciate life, I'd do it. But I can't. He's not going to. He wants to hit things and catch things and run into things. So I let him play football, believing that if I took away from him something that I had at that age,
right,
I'd never be able to make it up to him. And I think it's benefited him. I realize the risks, but I appreciate the benefits as well. And football taught me a lot about life, taught me a lot about my body. Part of the reason I went into medicine was because I got curious about the temple of the soul.
Really?
And a lot of physicians are actually athletes who learned about the magnificence of our bodies. In fact, the commercial that I have in the Super Bowl this year is primarily about that. I made it with Turkish Airlines because they said you can make it on stuff that's uplifting.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman had done it last year,
that's right.
I had him on my show, and I love the guy. And he had a good time. I said, okay, let's make it on the 5 senses. These 5 things we take for granted: what we taste, how we feel, how we touch things, how we hear things, how we see things. And in the commercial, we go to South Africa. We go to we see whales who are whoop whoop to each other. We go to Scandinavia. We can see the northern lights. Then we go to Turkey, where you smell things you could never imagine. And the beauty of the whole experience is that if you allow yourself to, your eyes can see millions of hues, but you got to look up.
Right.
You actually have to use them. And I think as athletes, that people are taught to use their 5 senses internally, as all of us should be using them externally. We should widen our world.
Our program Sold Out's about highlighting people of faith, family, and sports, faith, family, and entertainment who...
Don't forget food.
Food?
Food,
Yeah,
faith, family, fun.
There you go. And high-impact people that make a difference in people's lives. And, you're one of those guys. I mean, it's one thing to be famous, Dr. Oz. It's one thing to enjoy that. But it's what you do with that opportunity to influence people, and you've been that guy. It's been fun to watch.
Well, let me offer some insights on how that happened. So my wife went to theology school at Columbia. My mother-in-law is a minister in Philadelphia.
Wow, I did not know that.
So in my house, the prosecution never rests. They could care less that I'm on television. What they care about is what I do to give, to what use we have. And that's the big issue, I think, an opportunity we have. Is, many folk of faith, they have belief and they have knowledge, but it's the use that makes a difference.
Right.
You gotta show up in people's lives and chip in. For example, when someone gets sick, you can say, hey, I'm here for you. Or you can say, hey, can I get dinner for you?
Right.
It's an extra step where you're actually trying to get engaged and offer support that allows you to feel good about life. And all the kind things you're saying to me are right back at the folks who watch. I mean, my 1,500th show is today, ironically.
Oh,
and Oprah's on, who's my partner, obviously,
Yes.
and been a great supporter. And Gail King, who made all this possible
Right.
by connecting me to media. And these people are wonderful human beings who are humble. You don't see that side of them, but they're incredibly humble people. And Oprah would always say, listen, people watching you, if they don't understand what you're saying, and right now I can't, then you got to change what you're doing because they're not going to change. You got to meet people where they are. And what makes the show survive is our ability to go into people's homes with good guests.
Yeah.
Because actually, I'm not a host, I'm a guest.
Yes.
Right? You're inviting me into your home. You are right now. People are inviting you into their cars to listen to you, to hear you, right? And that only is going to be paid back if you bring to them worthy material.
Dr. Oz with us on Sold Out Sports Talk. Did you have a traditional faith background?
Yeah, so I was raised Muslim.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, my grandmother was a incredibly religious woman who taught me all the prayers. Uncles were all
Wow.
Hajj, they went to Mecca. The religion is beautiful when it's practiced as it was designed to be practiced. My wife is Swedenborgian. Swedenborgs are fabulous people. Helen Keller was Swedenborgian.
Yeah.
It had a huge influence on the Walden School, which basically they're thought of an angel. You know, Clarence the angel in It's a Good Life. It's a Wonderful Life,
Right.
with
One
Jimmy
of my
Stewart.
favorite films.
But that concept of an angel is a Swedenborgian concept that it's not that you're a fallen angel. We all have loves in life. And you will go to a place where your loves are satisfied. If your loves are in the right place, you'll be in a much happier, easier place to be. If your loves are in the wrong place, it's okay, just
Right.
change your loves. You know, love the things you should be loving.
Turkish Airlines, you need to check that out. 1,500 episode. I know you're already doing that. So, Dr. Oz, tell me, going forward, I always talk to people about people think that dreams and goals are in the past and you reach them and, you just live life. But, dreamers are people who continue to dream high and continue to have a large vision. What do you want to do? What are some of the things you haven't done you'd like to do?
I think we need to change the narrative on where America is going. And I want to chip in on that. I want to help folks who are struggling now, trying to envision what our nation is going to be able to be, the leadership role we have to play around the world. And the show's in 100 countries, so I get to travel a lot. The world needs us. We got to lead them the right way. And I think we sometimes beat each other up about stuff, especially left-right stuff. I think we have an opportunity, and I've started doing it more in the show, to talk about the things that should elevate us all. And it's not just about feeling good about life. You got to have the deep conversation. You got to have the arguments. That's okay. But in a family, you fight like cats and dogs at the dinner table, but you're still together. You're still family when you're done. And that's what's made this country great. And I want to just keep pushing us in that direction.
No better way to finish it than that. Dr. Oz, congratulations on your 1,500th.
Rome, was a real pleasure.
Thanks
God
for
bless
coming
you.
on Sold Out. God bless you.